The world sucks. What is fun about waking up every day driving while listening to awful music on the radio, sitting at a desk for 8 hours and typing in a couple numbers into an Excel spreadsheet? Nothing. You know what sucks maybe even more than that? The world right now. We are in some weird, insane times, right? After I released my Zelda video, I went and hung out with my friends and destroyed them in Smash. That was only a couple of weeks ago. Now, I can't even leave my house. You know what? I need a big old fat distraction from this whole mess. And what better way to distract myself from the real world than with video games? There is absolutely nothing like playing a game, checking the clock, and seeing it's been 5 hours since you last shit yourself. So if you guys are looking for some games to play during this awful time that might cheer you up, calm you down, or just make you void out of everything for a second, I've got just the list for you. Coming out at potentially the most perfect time ever, Animal Crossing New Horizons and the whole series in general is maybe the textbook definition of a relaxed, calming game. Unlike a lot of games which are action orientated, have a time limit, and have multiple ways for you to be punished if you do something wrong, Animal Crossing is the opposite. You have no time limits, you have no enemies to kill or ways to die, you simply exist in the serenity of your own town. Animal Crossing is by far the most relaxing game I've ever played. There is something so methodical and brilliant about running around, shaking trees, going fishing, picking weeds, all tasks which in real life would make me go insane. There's a beauty of creativity and freedom when it comes to decorating your home. Like look at mine. I've made it dark oak theme with lots of plants and included the Smash 64 roster. It's not the best looking house around, but that's not the point of Animal Crossing. It's about doing the things you want, the way you want to do them, and when you want to do them. My friend spent all her first days completing the DIY projects and getting villagers to move in, while I spent my first days paying off all the debts I could. It is so amazing how you turn this game on, go fishing for a couple of minutes, and all of a sudden you have $1 million debt and it's been 5 hours. Huh? Luckily, you're not alone on this deserted island, as you have a bunch of animal friends who live with you, hence the title. What, you thought this game was about running over animals? Speaking of, they have the cutest personalities. Like Coach, for example, is always telling me about his lifting gains and encourages me to exercise. No thanks. And then there is Canberra the koala. On one hand, she is a koala and her name is Canberra. I love that. On the other hand, Canberra is a bitch. But that's okay, because when the animals become too much for you to handle, you can hang out with your real life friends. I don't have any, so I paid someone on the internet to let me hang out with them. It was really fun. We ran around, hit each other with nets, played hide and seek. I stole their oranges to make a huge profit on my own island. I insulted them in their own house. I stole their valuable fossils. Okay, wait, maybe I'm a bad person. Am I a bad person? I don't really care because I am loaded. In conclusion, Animal Crossing New Horizons is really, really worth it if you want to escape from the world right now, or anytime really. It's so easy to sink hours into this game doing things. I spent ages making my front yard to be this cozy hangout place where I relax and do some cooking. I've even got a pizza oven.
Pizza time.
But if you can't afford New Horizons right now, don't worry. Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS is just as good. And so is Wild World on the DS, and maybe the Wii one, I'm not too sure, but just don't get the Amiibo one. And if you can't be bothered playing the game, just look up the music on YouTube. Therapy? Expensive. Animal Crossing soundtrack? Free. Minecraft. What is there left to say about Minecraft? You know it all already. But actually, I'll say this. When I started to play it again last year, I forgot how calming it is. Like Animal Crossing, you don't have an objective and you are very free to be as creative as you like. The music to this game is just what tops off the cake to its atmosphere. There is nothing like working on a mammoth of a project while listening to these beautifully constructed piano tracks. I really appreciate how through the absolute creative tangibility of the world, you can make really anything. For a lot of people, it looks like this, or even this. Ugh. But for me, again with my lack of interior decorating skills, it's usually something like this. I'm pathetic. I also really like playing this game with my friends, which again, I did have to pay for. Even if you're not working on the same objective, it's nice just to be able to have some company in this otherwise empty world. There's something so enchanting about Minecraft as you work on one small objective and it slowly turns into this massive objective where you're out gathering as many materials as you can so you can build as much as you can, etc, etc. I absolutely love strip mining. It's just so methodical and relaxing, and also you get heaps of diamonds, so it's a win-win. I can't say it more enough. If you need a game that will steal hours away like they're minutes, Minecraft might be the perfect title to revisit right now. Alright, this video is a couple of minutes long now and I haven't even mentioned Zelda yet.
We don't care.
Oh, shut it. I like Zelda. Sue me. I'm just gonna go out on a whim and say pretty much every mainline entry Zelda game is very addictive and encourages multiple hour play sessions. It's so fun to boot up one of them, do one side quest and say, oh, just one more. And then something else catches your attention and you say, oh, just this one dungeon. And then all of a sudden you've been playing for 20 hours. But I think the Zelda game that sinks the most hours by far is Breath of the Wild. I didn't really touch on this in my last video, but it is a very long game, and that's fantastic. You will have one objective, see one thing on the complete other side of the map, and completely change course for that new goal. Rinse and repeat 20 times, and oh, I played for 75 hours. And look guys, my 75 hours is pretty feeble compared to playtimes I've seen online. But look, maybe you want something a bit more relaxing to calm you in these times. And while the series is very action focused, there have always been a few moments of simple bliss through joy and relaxation. In Ocarina of Time, the sleepy melody of Kakariko Village makes this town feel like a home away from home, full of the most characteristic neighbors. Majora's Mask? Actually, I'm gonna say that there are no relaxing moments in this one. And again, all of Breath of the Wild. There is something so cozy and flattering about walking up to a stable and sleeping on a soft bed or doing some cooking. But for me, I think the most calming and reclined areas of the entire series are in Twilight Princess. The village you grew up in, Ordon, is the most gorgeously calm town in the entire series. The ranch which you heard sheep in has this beautifully mellow music that is what I want playing when I have a picnic with my wife 20 years from now. The strings and muted French horn just ooze with peace. I wish I could live in this area, for real. Why can't that be me? But Twilight Princess also showcases this soft, laid-back feeling in other places in the game. While Hyrule Field in the day is like yeah. At night, it's this beautifully easy-going symphony that shines a new light of charm over the world you explore. And the top of the cake, of course, is the fishing hole. There is nothing else to say except this is maybe one of the most gorgeous Zelda tracks ever. Also, the fishing girl's really cute. Xenoblade Chronicles. Look, I'm only really bringing this game up because it is being remade. Holy
now
shit,
it's
yes,
showtime.
yes,
I'm really feeling it. I can change the future. This is a good result. Jump! Not good.
But while we're on the topic, this game sucks hours away like it is nothing. When developing the game, Monolith Soft noted how most JRPGs either have amazing gameplay and a dogshit story, or have an amazing story and busted ass shitty gameplay. They set out to achieve the impossible with Xenoblade Chronicles, make a game that had both a good gameplay and a good story. I know, it's a hard feat, guys. Personally, I hate JRPGs. I think they're kind of boring and not fun to play, and they're usually just really stupid.
Happy of service, master.
Not good.
But Xenoblade Chronicles, oh my god, it is so gripping and enthralling and fun and deep and just completely enriches you in its world and gameplay. I had so much fun learning the combat system and grabbing all the collectibles and making crystals, and on the other hand, I was completely motivated at every step of the way by the narrative in a video game that didn't suck major ass. In fact, I thought the story was actually really good. If you slept on this game on the Wii or 3DS, the definitive edition will be the perfect chance for you to lose yourself to it. If you can't afford that, don't worry, the 3DS one won't make you vomit too much. Why do they look like that? Valve have just made a glorious comeback seemingly out of nowhere with Half-Life Alyx. They set out to make the killer app for VR that makes you want to get it, and it worked. I have never ever wanted VR before, but in the first 10 seconds of gameplay from Alyx, I was looking up immediately how to import the index to Australia. Oh, $2,000. But watching gameplay made me wonder what the rest of the series was like, and so I decided to give it a shot since I'd never really played any of the games before, despite being a huge Valve fan. And guys, let me tell you, 22 years later, the original Half-Life is still a phenomenal game. Valve's world building and level design make the game both fun to explore and immersive. I love how when you first go through Black Mesa, it's just running around and getting used to the controls and interacting with the scientists.
My God, what are you doing? I can't be bothered right now.
But then you have to traverse backwards through this area in this horror movie-like scenario with zombies and aliens, and it's so good. My first play session, I literally pressed the play button and then suddenly it was 4 hours later. I love how fluently the genre changes. 1 second it's a science lab simulator, the next it's a horror, the next it's an action game, and sometimes it's James Bond. I cannot wait to play through the rest of the series, because from what I've heard, those games are pretty good too. And very quickly while we are on the topic of Valve, Team Fortress 2 is my most played game ever with 750 hours. While it's definitely not in its peak anymore, back in the day there was nothing like getting home from school, booting the game up with friends to dick around on Upward for 5 hours. Maybe it's worth revisiting to relive some of those old memories and to eat up at the time. Stardew Valley. I'm gonna be honest guys, this game didn't really catch me, but my friends who I paid for this video won't stop playing it. One of them played it for like 12 hours straight. What the fuck guys, our contract is over, I'm not playing with you all anymore. Super Smash Bros. Now this is a game that I think I am very good at, but I am in fact very bad at. But that's the fun of the game, I think. There's such a rewarding feeling about getting your ass whooped 9 times in a row, but then making a comeback in that 10th match. Sometimes in your game you pull off cool shit like this, and you think, wow, I did that. But in actual fact,
It's the power of the Monado.
there's no wonder people have played Melee for so many years. Aiming to be the best you can be is almost an addiction as you spend hours upon hours fine-tuning every small hurdle and bump of your playstyle so you can whoop some fucking ass. Luckily for me though, I main Shulk and he has a button that stops him from dying. Shulk is broken, please delete. And my last game for you all today is, of course, drumroll please, Sonic Adventure Biggs Fishing. Look at that guys, I lost track of the time because I was so distracted making this video. I hope this took your mind off the real world for a moment and made you think about some of those fantastic games you've played. And if you haven't played something I mentioned today, it might be the perfect distraction you need right now. Anyways, make sure you comment telling me what games I missed and how I exude big virgin energy. Please stay safe, try to self-isolate, and as always, stay snug. See ya.